Hello there, people of the internet. AI-generated gun content is becoming very, very prolific, and I am seeing a lot of AI-generated gun content YouTube channels pop up basically everywhere. Now, the concept of using AI generation to produce firearms content is not exactly unique to the firearms content world. AI-generated content is popping up all over the internet because it's such a easy way to make a lot of content really, really, really fast that takes like basically zero effort. So the idea behind AI generated content is you having AI generate your images or your videos, or they pull and compile images and videos from the internet, and they compile it with a script that the AI makes, and it is all done in just a couple of seconds, and then you can upload that video to YouTube, and you have yourselves a gun video that takes literal seconds to make. So you can make a lot of content very, very quickly. And it's not just firearms. I mean, I see several science channels that are popping up that are AI content, and several vehicle channels that are popping up that are AI content, and just several cooking channels, and just AI content is very, 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 very predominant out there. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys how to spot a firearms channel that is nothing more than AI content. Whenever I check out these AI content firearms channels, I'll go into the comments and I'll see people who just do not realize that it is an AI that is making the stuff that they are watching. And so as a result, they're going to the comments and they'll say, hey, this guy's an idiot. It's because of this, and this, or he gets this wrong and this wrong, or he is under the assumption that this is happening whenever actually this is happening. And, well, these people just don't realize that it's just literally an AI that's pulling in random things from the internet to make a video on, because that's what the AI was programmed to do. And I wanted to go ahead and make a video talking about how to spot some of these channels. So first off, if you have a YouTube channel that has a narrator who is talking, but you never actually see the narrator talking, that's a pretty clear indication that you're dealing with an AI generated YouTube channel. If he is talking in the background and you're seeing nothing but a bunch of photos and videos that are random flashes from other YouTube channels, or I mean TV shows, or insert your choice of media here, the likelihood of that being an AI generated YouTube channel is quite high, especially if you never ever see the narrator during those times where he's cutting through footage. Now, not all YouTube channels are like that. There are some out there where they're not AI generated. It's an actual narrator narrating and physically putting together a compilation of all sorts of different videos. So that's not a hard and fast rule. However, if you see the AI generated voice, or if you hear the AI generated voice start talking in a way that most humans don't normally talk, then that's a pretty clear indication as well. Like, for example, if they are over enthusiastic, or they say things that literally just don't matter, or they say things that are just completely out of pocket and don't match up with the tone of what the rest of the video was, then odds are it is going to be some sort of AI generated content. Like, for example, this is actually a meme that I got off of my Discord. But for example, if the AI generated narrator ends up saying something along the lines of, "You have two wolves inside of you. One is a piece of farm equipment, and the other is the greatest battle implement ever devised, and you are International Harvester." If the AI says something like that, and it's completely random, and like it doesn't match the tone of the rest of the video, then odds are it's literally just AI generated content. And that right there was thrown in because the AI likes throwing in random mishmashes of excitement to try and keep audience retention, because it thinks that right there is what will keep audience retention, because that's what its definition of excitement is. So if you see just random splotches of things like that thrown into a video compilation with a narrator that you never see, odds are it is going to be AI generated content. And that's not the only situation. If you're dealing with AI generated content, and you come across a point in time where what the narrator says doesn't make any sense at all, like literally 0 sense at all. Like I was watching one, I think it was last night actually. I was watching one and I was drinking some whiskey, and I'm not sure if it was a whiskey or if I heard it properly, but I swear to God this is what it said. It was talking about lever actions, at least I think it was lever actions. Might have just been Western guns. But it said, this lever action can fire 50 rounds per round every round, or something like that. It said, like, it just made 0 sense what the hell it was talking about. And typically whenever you get things like that from narrators that you don't see with just pictures and videos compiled into a video, odds are, like 99.99% of the time, that ends up being AI generated content. 50 rounds per round every round. So yeah, that's a pretty clear indication. Or if you look at the thumbnail of the channel and the background photo of the channel, and they're the same thing, or they're very, very, very simplistic 3D generated art, or you look at them and they're generated art that is generated in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense, it doesn't quite add up, and it's clearly AI generated art, odds are the channel itself is also going to be AI generated. Or if it has a random name that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, like actually one of the AI generated YouTube channels I'm watching right now, it's called Bullet Sword, and that's, I won't lie, that's actually a pretty fun AI generated YouTube channel to watch. They do come up with some really cool concepts, and as a matter of fact, I have actually based a couple of my previous videos off of concepts that they have come up with before. But it's all AI generated. It has no actual narrator. It has, like, literally, it's just the AI generated narrator who talks, and as he talks, it throws together a bunch of videos and pictures and whatnot to form a compilation. There's nobody actually there doing anything. Now, is this a bad thing? No, it's not. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people out there who will claim this to be a bad thing, because they will make claims like, hey, this type of content is being made as much as possible, and it's only being made for clicks and for views and to bring in money and profit. And yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. But at the same time, that's not a bad thing, because not only does this bring to light a massive, 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 massive amount of firearms content, because it can be made very, very quickly and very, very easily, but because of the sheer numbers of YouTube channels that are popping up with this AI-generated content, we are reaching people out there that people like me and other gun content creators simply could not reach, because these guys are basically doing the Soviet Russia tactic of shoving as much out into whatever it is that they're doing with as possible. Like the Soviets were doing soldiers into machine gun fire. In this case, we're doing gun content into the YouTube algorithms. And just because of the amount that is being shoved out into the general population, there are people watching this stuff who would normally not be involved in firearms content at all. So although it is just people selfishly making really, really, really easy to make content for specifically monetary gain, it also helps us directly in the Second Amendment community, because we have people who are watching this stuff, and as long as it's not blatant disinformation, which a lot of it really is not, a lot of it is just empty information that doesn't actually tell you anything. It's just entertaining. Hey, look at the guns. We're enjoying ourselves out here. But as long as it's not blatant disinformation about firearms, which, like I said, most of it is not, then it absolutely could help the 2A community, because it's made to entertain people with a particular subject, not to provide any real substance with that subject or provide any real information, but just to entertain them. And that entertainment will base off of emotion, which is what entertainment does. It bases off of emotion to keep viewer retention. And that emotion is typically positive whenever it comes to these YouTube channels, these AI-generated YouTube channels. And with this positive retention, we start to see positive ideology and positive reactions towards firearms. And I feel like this right here could really do the firearms community a lot of good. Now, this might be abused later down the road. This might become an issue further in time. I mean, there's a lot of things that might become issues further in time. But as we see of right now, as of where it stands, I only see this as a good thing. Now, what an AI cannot do is they cannot grab the lever action and load a couple of rounds into it, but they can show off videos and clips and whatnot of other YouTubers and other content that has already been made, which they've pulled from the internet, of YouTubers doing this. So if you see the actual narrator doing things like this right here, odds are that's not AI generated. Now, there is some really, really good convincing AI generated stuff out there to where it would look very realistic if the AI generated somebody shooting a gun like this, but the odds of that being the case are quite small, like especially if it is generated well, like the likelihood of a piece of content like that being generated well enough for you to not spot that it's AI would be too unlikely, with lack of better terminology. I really like this lever action, and this 38 special is reloadable. That's why I'm saving the brass the way that I am. I've lost too much 38 special brass out here. All right. I don't know what the hell I hit over there, but it like exploded, and now there's smoke coming from the grill down there. You know what? I got the M1 Grand here too. I may as well send it around through that. Everybody likes the M1 Grand ping. May as well enjoy some M1 Grand ping. Let's send a round of M2 ball downrange. That was cool. That recooled a lot more than that little 38 special that I was firing though. The reality of it is that I have been thinking about doing AI generated content myself, just to be able to make like a massive amount of content and spread it out across multiple YouTube channels. This way I could get as much good gun content out as I possibly can. Like, I'm trying to make as much as I can right now, and I'm basically flooding this YouTube channel with gun content and all sorts of unique topics and whatnot that we discuss here. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I want this content, like, if I figure if I make enough of this, then more people will see it, more people will enjoy it, and more people will get into firearms as a result of seeing my content and enjoying it. But if I had AI generated content, then I could achieve that goal much more rapidly. So definitely has its perks, definitely has its pros. Not a lot of people will like watching AI generated content because it's just a narrator that makes no sense whatsoever, talking over a bunch of content that already exists, but it also gets people watching things that they normally would not watch, which involves firearms. And that right there is probably the best thing that we could do for the sake of argument. Only the best things that we could do for our 2A community. We definitely want to grow that community as much as we possibly can. And this right here might be the best way to do it, the most efficient way to do it. A way of doing it that is so efficient that the people who are trying to censor us would not be able to keep up with the amount of AI-generated content that is being produced. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.